once again, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time joining me today. Hi, my name is Hannah. I make a lot of different videos here on YouTube. I have a lot of different playlists on my channel, so if you are new, definitely check out my playlists. A lot of different content here. I like to believe there's something for everybody. So without further ado, without further ramble, let's get into this video. So if you're new here, you may not know that I think it was a few months ago, I'm not sure, might have been last year, I don't know. I made a video about the reason that I don't really like realism tattoos. And a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but a fair amount of people have gotten a little upset about that opinion. So the reason I'm making this video is just kind of to clarify and to revisit a couple of my points. So I had a few people message me or comment on the video and be like, well, why don't you like realism tattoos? Are you just jealous because realism tattoos are more expensive and you can't afford them, and you're just jealous because you can't afford those tattoos? And those comments just kind of left me scratching my head. And that's because if you've ever been tattooed, or you know a lot of tattooers, or you follow tattoos at all in general, the style of the tattoo does not determine the price. I don't know how many people know that. Like, I would think it would be common knowledge if you have a tattoo, or if you've ever talked to a tattooer, that what's going to determine the cost of the tattoo is the amount of detail, whether or not you want color or whether it's black and gray, how long it's going to take, and the size of the tattoo. I just don't really understand the thought process there. I mean, honestly, a lot of realism tattoos may end up being more expensive than a traditional tattoo, but that's not just because it's realism, that's because it's very detailed and it's gonna take a long time. Now that's not always the case. If you've got a small realism tattoo, it may not be that expensive because it may be easier, like if it's smaller, it won't take as long for the tattooer to do. But like, one person commented and was like, well, if you get a realism tattoo, then you're gonna spend thousands of dollars on this realism piece, and your cheap cartoony tattoos don't cost that much. And it's like, I've spent literally thousands of dollars. I spent $1,000 alone on my thigh piece. That's Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like, I've spent thousands of dollars over my body, you know, like, it doesn't make sense what you're saying. Like, yeah, if it's a huge realism, extremely detailed piece, yeah, it's going to be expensive, but traditional tattoos, neo-traditional tattoos, those are also extremely expensive. So you can't really compare the two, because when you say, oh, a realism tattoo, that doesn't mean a gigantic realism tattoo. It could be a very small realism tattoo. It could be a realism tattoo this size. Well, you can't really see, but like this size. Granted, it's going to probably blow out after a while because that's very small, and if it's a lot of detail, there you go. But I mean, you can't really just say, oh, this style is more expensive than this style just inherently because it's this style, you know. It all depends on all these different factors. And I think that honestly, a lot of these comments and messages that I get just come from a place of ignorance, and I don't understand why you couldn't just like not say that, you know. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I wouldn't just go and leave a comment that's like, you're jealous, you don't know, blah, 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 blah. You know, maybe it's just because I wouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't just say that for no reason. I wouldn't do that. Maybe that's why I don't understand. But if you know anything about tattoos at all, you know that you can't just slap a flat price on something. It's going to depend on how long it takes, who your artist is, what their rate is, all that kind of stuff. There's just a variety of aspects to take into account to the price of your tattoo. I don't know. I'm a little bit baffled by these comments that I've been getting. But moving forward from that, no, I'm not jealous. I don't hate realism tattoos. I've said that in the other video. I don't hate realism tattoos. I think they're absolutely stunning. I think they're beautiful. I think that they can be amazing if they're kept up with. You can't just get this realism piece and have it, you know, it's one thing if it's like on your leg or somewhere that doesn't get exposed to the sun, like really high on your leg or something like that. But if the place where you get a tattoo is exposed to the sun, realism or not, it's gonna fade. It could get sunburned if you don't properly cover it and take care of it. It could blow out depending on the way that it was tattooed, depending on how small it is. It just has a bigger chance of blowing out because of all the detail and because there's generally a lack of heavy black lines around it, generally speaking. I know some realism artists try to incorporate dark black lines, which is cool. As a lover of traditional, I love that. I always love a black line. So, like, I'm not saying that realism tattoos are horrible. I'm not. I want to get that across. I'm not saying they're horrible. I'm just saying that they require a lot of upkeep if it's anywhere ever exposed to the sun. Because when you get exposed to the sun, like I said, your tattoo can get sunburned if you don't protect it. The sun can just fade it in general. There's just so many things that can go wrong, and you're gonna eventually have to get that touched up. Probably more than you would a traditional piece or a neo-traditional piece, something like that. I'm not trying to say that neo-traditional or traditional is inherently better just because that's what I enjoy. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that because of the thick black lines and generally the packed in darker colors, that helps the tattoo to stay there longer. It's just biology. It's the way that your skin reacts to the tattoo and heals the tattoo. So would I ever get a realism tattoo? No. Why is that? Because I know that I don't want to go get my tattoos touched up like every single year. That might be a little bit exaggerated. It could probably be every 2 to 3 years, whatever. But I just really hate pain. And while realism tattoos are beautiful, I just wouldn't want to have to sit through touch-ups that often. Whereas with traditional tattoos, you can probably go 5, 10 years without having to get a touch-up, depending on how well you take care of it, of course. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse in this video. Can you tell? I just feel like I've covered all of this before, but a lot of people just choose not to listen to it. I don't hate realism tattoos. They're just a lot of upkeep for me personally. And you may say, well, Hannah, I have this realism tattoo on my arm and it's gigantic and it's fine. I've had it for 20 years and it's never aged a day. That's your opinion. But like, I could see somebody's realism tattoo that they got today and I could see them again in 1 year and it could be significantly faded. It could be perfectly fine. It's a risk that you take, you know? I mean, but that's with anything. So it's like, the tattoo could be kind of faded, blown out, a little bit murky, you can't really tell. Or it could be perfect. You never know. But knowing me and my luck, I would need a touch-up like every 2 years. And I don't want to do that because I'm just very pain averse. I know you can't tell, but I'm pain averse, okay? I don't want to get tattooed more than I have to. I don't know. Anybody else out there like that? I don't know. But hi, this is me saying I don't hate realism tattoos. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.